Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Your United States Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron takes pleasure in performing for you this our 21st flight demonstration of the 2015 season. I'm Captain Jeff Coos, narrator for the Blue Angels. The Blue Angel maintenance crew and their equipment travel aboard a United States Marine Corps C-130 Hercules, affectionately known as Fat Albert. It is the large blue and white aircraft in position on the runway to your left. Today, Fat Albert will be demonstrating the high-performance climb capability of the Lockheed Martin C-130 Hercules. On the runway from the left, Fat Albert will soon be rolling. They'll accelerate to 125 miles per hour, perform a low transition, and execute a high-performance climb, placing the aircraft in a 45-degree nose-up attitude.
Melbourne's ready to run them up. Upstairs with the 1-2 and 11. We are the airfield and the airspace. You are cleared for takeoff. Have a good one. Thanks, Bo. First ready to fire it up for Lieutenant Chamberlain's 30th birthday. Hurrah, Marine Corps. Semper Fi, Marine.
The C-130 Hercules, built by the Lockheed Martin Aircraft Company, was first produced in 1956. It was designed as a tactical transport capable of lifting heavy payloads both into and out of short or unimproved airstrips, as well as providing aerial delivery. The aircraft is powered by 4 Rolls-Royce turboprop engines, producing more than 18,000 shaft horsepower, enabling takeoffs on runways as short as 2,500 feet.
Get the scratch. Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop skipping. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon roll to retirement. I'm too hot. I say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that, let's break it down. Like I said, hallelujah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Major Cook is now positioning Fat Albert behind the crowd to the right for the parade pass, flown at 200 feet, and airspeeds approaching 300 miles per hour. Wow. From the right, the Fat Albert parade pass. The C-130 is capable of carrying a payload of 40,000 pounds at a top speed of 375 miles per hour at altitudes as high as 35,000 feet.
Mr. worldwide to infinity. You know the roof on fire. We gon' boogie, oogie, oogie, jiggle, wiggle, and dance like the roof on fire. We gon' drink drinks and take shots until we fall out like the roof on fire. Now, baby, get my booty naked, take off all your clothes and light the roof on fire. Tell her, baby, 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 I'm on fire. I tell her, baby, 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 I'm a fireball.
Major Cook is now positioning Fat Albert for a low-altitude, high-speed pass. From the left at 370 miles per hour, the Fat Albert Flat Pass.
I conquered, or should I say I saw, I conquered, I came. This little chico on fire, he no lie. Well, y'all slipping, he's running the game. Now big bang boogie, get that kitty little noogie in a nice, nice little shade. I gave Susie a little pat up on the booty and she turned around and said, walk this way. I was born. I'm the best you've ever had. If you think I'm burning out, I never am. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. Fireball.
Fat Albert is flown by an all-Marine crew led by Major Dusty Cook from East Bernard, Texas, Major Mark Hamilton from Becker, Minnesota, and Captain Katie Higgins from Severna Park, Maryland.
Like an astronaut that's scared of heights, with a heart that's beating at the speed of light. You've been waiting for this feeling all your life. Sometimes it's just hard to realize.
In the course of a complete show season, Fat Albert will fly more than 100,000 miles, carrying a normal show load of 45,000 pounds of fuel, 35,000 pounds of equipment, and a specialized maintenance and support team of 47 personnel.
Sometimes it's just hard to realize. When you start in a moment and your smart head is stolen, this is our time to own it, so own it. Baby, we were born with fire, gold in our eyes.
5 Marine Corps squadrons currently operate aerial refueling versions of the Hercules. Designated as the KC-130, they are capable of tactical in-flight refueling of jet, helicopter, and tilt-rotor aircraft. Additionally, Marine Corps KC-130 serve an integral role in the Marine Air-Ground Task Force throughout the world. Most recently, they've been employed in operations in South America, Africa, Eastern Europe, Asia, Afghanistan, and Iraq. High and to the left, Major Cook will establish Fat Albert on a very steep approach angle, simulating landing in mountainous terrain or a hostile environment. In order to demonstrate the short field landing capability, they will touch down and immediately reposition the propellers to full reverse. You'll notice that not only can the aircraft stop quickly, but it can produce enough thrust to taxi backward.
Bang, bang all over you.
Kingstown, we will demonstrate these maneuvers at very low altitude in traditional Blue Angel formation, so that you may see and take pride in the precise fashion in which your Navy and Marine Corps pilots are trained to fly. Now, direct your attention to the ramp before you and observe the military manner in which the 6 demonstration pilots approach their aircraft and are saluted by their crew chiefs. Ladies and gentlemen, flying Blue Angel number 1, the commanding officer and flight leader of the Blue Angels, from Clinton Township, Michigan, Captain Tom Frosch. Flying Blue Angel number 2, the right wingman, from Honolulu, Hawaii, Lieutenant Matt Siderhout. Flying Blue Angel number 3, the left wingman, from Sedan, Kansas, Lieutenant Andy Talbot. Flying Blue Angel number 4, the slot pilot, from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, Lieutenant Commander Nate Barton. Flying Blue Angel number 5, the lead solo, from Charleroi, Pennsylvania, Lieutenant Commander Mark Tedrow. Flying Blue Angel number 6, the opposing solo, from Bloomington, Illinois, Lieutenant Ryan Chamberlain. As the crew chiefs assist the pilots into their jets, you are witnessing the teamwork found in all Navy and Marine Corps units. The Blue Angels also take a great deal of pride in personifying the Navy and Marine Corps values of honor, courage, and commitment. For more information on our support crews and pilots, we invite you to follow us on social media, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. There you can get exclusive pictures and video, as well as a behind-the-scenes look at our organization and how we operate. The Navy's Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels, is the oldest performing U.S. military aviation demonstration team. Since 1946, the Blue Angels have brought naval aviation to men and women of all ages across America. We were first based at Naval Air Station Jacksonville, Florida, flying F-6F Hellcats. We continued flying Grumman Corporation aircraft for 22 years, transitioning in late 1946 to the more powerful and faster F-8F Bearcat. In 1950, we transitioned to jet aircraft with the straight-wing F-9F2 Panther, predecessor of the swept-wing F-9F8 Cougar, which we received in 1955. In 1957, the Blue Angels became equipped with high-performance aircraft with the arrival of the supersonic F-11F Tiger. In 1969, we received the McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom and flew this supersonic jet until 1974, when we transitioned to the A-4 Skyhawk. We're now in our 29th year of flying the highly sophisticated Boeing F-A-18 Hornet.
I live down the street. So I catch it.
The pilots and crew chiefs will now start the General Electric engines that power the F-18. The noise level will soon become too high for you to hear a description of the checks they will be performing. However, please note that each aircraft was carefully inspected by expert Blue Angel maintenance personnel prior to this afternoon's aerial demonstration. The Blue Angels fly the Boeing F-A-18 Hornet, a multi-mission strike fighter, versions of which have been operational throughout the fleet since 1983.
There's a guy in the back.
Check for pressure on trim set. Check your heading normal. Heading is 250. Check your altimeter set 3002. Correct center point elevation 0 feet. Check your barrel warning 0. Check your SPS 12, 30, 30, 34 down. Check your field. Check your seat arm. Lights up. Check your smoke pressure on smoke.
Afternoon, boss. Updated winds are 20011. Boss, I run 2 quarts of VFR. You are cleared to taxi via Alpha 2. Back taxi runway 1634. Line up away, runway 16.
Thanks, follow line up away, runway 16.
become a trademark of the Marines since 69 years ago. 17 officers and 100 enlisted personnel comprised of Navy flight demonstrations following. Pilots hold the diamond formation, displaying the precision flying required of Navy and Marine Corps aviators, while pilots 5 and 6 fly solos, demonstrating the maximum performance capability of the aircraft. Once again, I'm Captain Jeff Cruz, flight number 7 from Durango, Colorado, the narrator for the flight demonstration, as well as the pilot for the key influencers and media personnel we normally fly at each show site.
Updated winds are 20010. We own the airfield and the airspace. USA. Takeoff. Have a good one.
Thanks, boss. Cleared for takeoff. Solos are ready to rock North Kingstown, boss. Boss, we're cleared for takeoff. Winds are 220 at 10. That's a right crosswind. Check your parking brake off. Check your trim set. Check your nozzle steering on. Maneuver. Diamond burner go. Low transition. Right turnout. Eddie.
Oh, Billy, down us clear on 9. Let's fire up one more time for the Rhode Island National Guard Open House Air Show.
Let's run them up.
Now to the left, Captain Frost calls, off brakes now, burners ready now, and the Blue Angel Diamond is rolling. Smoke comes on as Captain Frost calls for the deselection of afterburner, and the Diamond exits the flight line to the right. Lieutenant Commander Tedrow clears the flight line. Lieutenant Chamberlain climbs to an altitude of 4,000 feet and rolls his aircraft 180 degrees onto its back. Pulling to the horizon, he'll complete the split us on takeoff and exit the flight line to the right. The Blue Angel Diamond will momentarily be making its approach from the right. In relatively slow speed flight, they will give you an opportunity to get a close look at the precision flying that produces the 18-inch wingtip to canopy separation between these four aircraft. From the right, the Blue Angel Diamond. The solo pilots will next demonstrate the focus and timing required of naval aviators. Approaching center point, Lieutenant Commander Tedrow and Lieutenant Chamberlain will roll their aircraft to 90 degrees angle of bank and push forward on the stick as they perform the opposing knife edge pass. Diamond is approaching for a maneuver that is likely familiar to those of you who have seen the Blue Angels perform in the past. From the right, at 400 miles per hour, the Diamond Roll. All 4 aircraft flying as one in this graceful 360-degree rolling maneuver. The sensation of weightlessness or ballistic flight, similar to that experienced by astronauts in space, will now be felt by the 2 solo pilots as they demonstrate the inverted flight capability of the F-18. Approaching inverted from the left and right, they will roll their aircraft 360 degrees, crossing over center point. The opposing inverted to inverted roll. Setting up for their next maneuver. Approaching center point on Captain Frosch's command, all 4 pilots will simultaneously roll their aircraft 360 degrees as they perform the Diamond Aileron roll. Here's Captain Frosch.
It's coming this way.
Aircraft pilots and enthusiasts who appreciate the difficulties associated with carrier aviation will enjoy this next maneuver demonstrated by the 2 solo pilots. To the right, Lieutenant Commander Tedrow and Lieutenant Chamberlain will establish a mirror image formation. But look closely, for both aircraft are in the carrier landing configuration as they approach for a maneuver we call the Fortis. For Navy and Marine Corps pilots who must land their aircraft on the small and sometimes pitching deck of an aircraft carrier at sea, slow-speed flight is just as important as high-speed flight. In order to demonstrate the dirty, slow-speed handling characteristics of the Boeing FA-18 Hornet, Captain Frosch has called for the extension of the landing gear and tail hooks by the 4 Diamond pilots as they execute a maneuver performed by no other jet demonstration team in the world today. From the left, the Diamond Dirty Roll. Vertically, showcasing the Hornet's slow-speed climb capability. pilots approach once again, you should notice two significant modifications. While the wingmen, Lieutenant Siderhout and Lieutenant Talbot, maintain minimum wingtip to canopy separation, the flight leader and slot pilot are both in the inverted position. From the right, the Blue Angel, double farvel.
I said
Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
wow.
Turn down for what?
From behind the spectator area, Blue Angels 5 and 6 are approaching the flight line in a line abreast formation at 400 miles per hour.
From the south that is pouring like an avalanche coming down the mountain.
Having rolled their aircraft 270 degrees and crossed with minimum separation, watch as both pilots sustain 6 times the force of gravity to cross their aircraft back in front of the crowd. The 4 Diamond pilots are now stacked down and aft on a 45-degree bearing line to establish a right echelon formation. From the right at 350 miles per hour, the Blue Angel Echelon Parade. Setting up for their next maneuver, Blue Angels 5 and 6 are converging on center point to demonstrate the rapid roll rate of the F-18's fly-by-wire flight control system. Crossing center point, they will complete 2 consecutive rolls, totaling 720 degrees, with a closure rate of over 800 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposing horizontal rolls.
You ready? He just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know, but no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary.
To the left, the 4 Diamond pilots have established a left echelon formation. Approaching center point, Captain Frost will roll the formation 360 degrees into the 3 wingmen. During this extremely difficult maneuver, Lieutenant Commander Barton on the outpost position will experience 4 times the displacement generated by Captain Frost's aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel left echelon roll. Completing the roll to the right, observe as the three wingmen smoothly shift back into the Blue Angel Diamond. Now that Blue Angels 5 and 6 have your attention, you have seen firsthand the ability of a tactical aircraft at high speed to sneak into a target area virtually undetected. Lieutenant Chamberlain completes the maneuver with a left turnout, while Lieutenant Commander Tedrow rendezvous with the Diamond to the right. To the right, Lieutenant Commander Tedrow has joined the Diamond in a line abreast formation. Still maintaining minimum separation, the pilots must now align themselves by looking 90 degrees from their flight path toward Captain Frosch's aircraft. From the right, at 350 miles per hour, the 5-plane line abreast flat pass. As they exit to the left, Captain Frosch calls for another formation change prior to detaching Blue Angel number 5. You have seen several flight profiles of the F-18 Hornet. The two solo pilots will now demonstrate precision roll rate control. Approaching center point, they will roll their aircraft 360 degrees, pausing after each 90 degrees of rotation, crossing center point in the inverted position. The opposing 4-point hesitation roll.
Here they come. Hesitation. Watch this.
And you won't find the beat until you lose yourself in it. Let's go!
From behind the crowd, Captain Frosch is rolling out the Diamond for a dynamic separation maneuver, the Blue Angel low brake cross. Approaching center point, each pilot will perform an individual brake turn and exit the flight line in a separate direction. As each aircraft accelerates to 500 miles per hour, they will perform a reversal turn back toward the flight line. You should be able to follow the individual smoke trails as all 4 pilots converge on center point with maximum closure and minimum separation. To the right, the 4 Diamond pilots are setting up for one of the more difficult and dynamic rolling maneuvers, the tuck under brake. Approaching center point in left echelon formation, each pilot will roll their aircraft 270 degrees in ripple fashion, take separation, and rejoin Captain Frosh in the Diamond formation.
On the street where you live, girls talk about the social lives. They made of lipstick, plastic, and pink. Don't you see the easy rise?
Back to the right, the 2 solo pilots are making their approach toward the flight line. As they approach, they will simultaneously roll their aircraft together in section. From the right, the double tuck over roll.
I'm recording. I want to watch.
Home based in Pensacola, Florida, completed an intensive winter training period at Naval Air Facility El Centro, California. The beautiful weather of the Imperial Valley provided us with optimum conditions to fly each of the demonstration pilots on the 120 training flights necessary prior to our first public demonstration. Our show season opened the 14th of March and runs continuously each weekend through mid-November. The Blue Angels will be performing 64 flight demonstrations this season while visiting 34 cities throughout the United States. All 5 wingmen maintain position as they roll 360 degrees over center point.
Let's make some music, make some money, find some models for wives.
As they exit to the left, watch as Captain Frosh reverses the formation back toward the flight line. From the left, at 400 miles per hour, all 6 aircraft are approaching so that you may get a look at the entire Delta formation. In front of the crowd, Captain Frosh is bringing the formation back toward the flight line so that you may get another look at their precision formation flying. From the right, the Blue Angel maneuvering Delta. For a description of our maneuvers and an in-depth look at our team and individual biographies, please visit our website or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. In front of the crowd, the Delta is making their approach to the flight line. Approaching center point, the entire formation will separate in dramatic fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel Delta Breakout. Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron represents a time-honored tradition of pride, professionalism, and excellence spanning 104 years of naval aviation. The 2015 team takes a great deal of pride in saluting Navy and Marine Corps pilots, maintenance crews, and support personnel everywhere. From the left, your 2015 Blue Angels. the unique demands placed upon naval aviators is that they be able to land their aircraft on a ship at sea, whether it be a tactical jet, a propeller-driven aircraft, or helicopter. Each requires skill which the naval aviator must master. In order to perfect this skill, Navy and Marine Corps pilots spend a great deal of time in the landing pattern, practicing carrier approaches. In front of you now, Captain Frost and his wingmen are demonstrating a simulated carrier landing pattern. Approaching the runway from the left, Captain Frost is confirming that the landing checks have been completed and that each aircraft is in fact ready to land. Rolling out on final, they make constant power and lineup corrections to maintain the optimum rate of descent for the proper touchdown point. Demonstration pilots you've been watching perform here this afternoon are but a small part of the Blue Angel team. The men and women in blue uniforms standing before you are members of the elite Blue Angel maintenance crew. Through hard work, many long hours, and unselfish dedication, they have each year for the past 69 years provided us with the aircraft availability necessary to perform each of these demonstrations. As the aircraft taxi back, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the Blue Angel maintenance crew. Command Master Chief Kareem Cole from Freetown, Sierra Leone. Maintenance Master Chief Robbie Bonanno from Honolulu, Hawaii. Maintenance Chief Justin Baylor from Edmond, Oklahoma. Maintenance Chief Bill Rhodes from Tampa, Florida. Crew Coordinator Bobby Peters from Yale, Michigan. Crew Chief number 1, Stephen Hart from Lake Mills, Wisconsin. First Mech Wes Harry from Montgomery City, Missouri. Crew Chief number 2, Ryan Hooks from Andrews, South Carolina. First Mech Zach Goodnight from Lewiston, Idaho. Crew Chief number 3, Bill Asbury from Campbell, New York. First Mech Jamichael Simeon from Beaumont, Texas. Crew Chief number 4, Jonathan Cronin from Bronx, New York. First Mech David Zimmerman from Covina, California. Crew Chief number 5, Ryan Schick from Oakwood, Texas. First Mech Nicholas Costello from Houston, Texas. Crew Chief number 6, Matt Noto from Middletown, New York. First Mech Brian Gustafson from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Calvin from Memphis, Tennessee. Cody Rich from Huntsville, Texas. Terry Siren from New Orleans, Louisiana. Brian Thomas from Delta, Ohio. Bobby Mayer from Norwood, Ohio. Josh Wilborn from Danville, Virginia. John Templin from Hinesville, Georgia. Sergio Aguilar from Guatemala City, Guatemala. Ryan Peterson from Clarksville, Iowa. Ben Fair from Tallahassee, Florida. The enlisted aircrew for today's C-130 flight demonstration are Flight Engineer Micah Bassel from St. Charles, Illinois. Navigator Zach Wilford from Provo, Kansas. Logan Officer Chris Lobo from Monterey, Mexico. And Shanghai Safety Examiner Adrian Castillo from Jacksonville, North Carolina. And Dennis DeMichael from New London, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel Maintenance Crew 2015. As they step away from their aircraft, I would like to take one final moment Having secured their engines, the pilots will simultaneously exit the aircraft on signal from Captain Frosch. It has been an honor and our pleasure to perform for you here in North Kingstown this our 21st flight demonstration of the 2015 season. Ladies and gentlemen, flying Blue Angel number 6, the opposing solo from Bloomington, Illinois, Lieutenant Ryan Chamberlain. Flying Blue Angel number 5, the lead solo from Charleroi, Pennsylvania, Lieutenant Commander Mark Tedrow. Flying Blue Angel number 4, the slot pilot from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, Lieutenant Commander Nate Barton. Flying Blue Angel number 3, the left wingman from Sedan, Kansas, Lieutenant Andy Talbot. Flying Blue Angel number 2, the right wingman from Honolulu, Hawaii, Lieutenant Matt Siderhoud. Flying Blue Angel number 1, the commanding officer and flight leader of the Blue Angels from Clinton Township, Michigan, Captain Tom Frosch. Ladies and gentlemen, representing your United States Navy and Marine Corps, the Blue Angels 2015.